Hey Karsten, David Trungil here. Thanks for your time for the lesson today. And I thought I would start with the before swing to again review what we're working on. So, number one, trying to get the hips more open at impact, but also the swing plane shape. So, before I start this, as a reminder, I think it would be good to take your feet at address and stand a little bit farther away from the ball. So your posture isn't bad, but if you just take your feet and simply back them up a few inches, I think they'll put you in a better position. So if we watch your backswing, initially it's right on plane. You do go a little bit above that plane line, and that right elbow is what I would call actually the right shoulder. It's externally rotated a lot. Now, I typically like to see that, but I like to see that in the downswing. And so what's happening is you're doing it in the backswing. And while you're dead parallel to the plane here, what's happening is when that right elbow is pinched like that, it's going to look for more turn later at the end of the swing. So as a result, check this out, there's this twisting action where it starts to twist across the line. So you went from being on plane to definitely on the steep side. And because the club is steep, you're going to fight to shallow it. And you do shallow it, but now you're a little bit stuck, meaning you're coming on an in-to-out swing path. So you're going to swing out to the right. So that would explain why you would hit some blocks to the right, potentially some hooks back to the left. And then we talk about this business of early extension. See how your hips are shooting off of this line, and then your head is pulling back and elevating a bit. All right, so let's clear these lines. And once again, at impact, you're standing up, but your hips are relatively square. So I don't see your hips getting open. That's why we did the drill with the stool or the chair. And you can see your exit's going to be a little bit high, which is a result, again, of that early extension move. So it's a pretty common pattern that I see. So why don't we do this? Let's go to the aftermath when we did some drills, and you're going to notice a pretty dramatic improvement for just one session. All right, so here's the aftermath. So once again, I would recommend when you do this drill with the chair, it's important to back your feet up and subsequently back the chair up a little bit more. If you back the stool or chair up, so really at address, we want the weight in the balls of your feet, but then when you actually make your swing, what's going to happen is the weight will distribute into the right heel, and on the downswing will go into the left heel. So let's take a look at this. Again, takeaway is still lifting a little bit up and above the plane during the takeaway. But look how much better here. I really like this. This right arm is getting deeper. As a consequence, I think of your left arm simply getting more across the chest. So again, you can take a glove and tuck it underneath your left armpit, but you look at this position at the top, and this is way better. So your right arm is in line with the spine there, and that's going to give you room to make a much better transition. Check out the plane. You really look at this. Again, my only criticism of the takeaway would be to get the hands working a little bit more inward as you're stepping farther away from the golf ball at address. But really, this is an excellent backswing. You're parallel to the plane really the whole way. I mean, how good is that? And check out how much more open your hips are at impact. Head is in the box. That is really, really good. So with the shaft coming down in just a little bit above the right forearm, I would expect certainly you wouldn't miss right unless the club face was wide open from here. This would produce, if anything, maybe a little bit of a cut. See how much lower the exit is? It's underneath the shoulder plane where it should be to the left. So let's check out this. So here's Lucas Glover, just as an example here. So boom, at P3, left arm parallel, we can see that depth in the right arm. It's matching the spine, right? And from there, now is when it's tipping to a more vertical position. So he's externally rotating. But again, that would be a very difficult move to make if your right arm is at 90, or again, if you have your right arm perpendicular to the ground and that right shoulder externally rotated on the way back, you just can't really make that move. And again, here's another example of the hips being a heck of a lot more open. So the pause reps are great to do to make this a habit, so that when you go to the course, you see your hips a lot more open at impact like that. And again, club face maybe just a smidge closed, but I wouldn't be too concerned about that for now. Really, really good work. So let me know how this goes. I would say that, again, you did a fantastic job. Lots of great changes. And it'll just be a matter of hitting enough shots with that stool so that, again, you got to work on one thing at a time. As I alluded to, it's got to become a habit. You can't stand over the golf ball with four swing thoughts. I know you're a detailed guy, so I would just keep hitting shots so that the lower body is you're going to get to a point where you don't have to think about it. And then we can obviously continue optimizing other parts of your swing. But this is, again, I really like that action with the plane, the right arm position. It's just looking a lot better. So keep up the great work and keep me posted with how the progress goes.